What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Creativ Rise podcast. So glad you're here today. We're talking about the danger of discouragement as a business owner and what you can do about it. A couple real life stories from my business, Christy's business, and some of our friends' businesses on what happens when you get discouraged, what happens when you start to lose hope that the things that you're working on are actually going to pan out. And this is a very, very important topic because discouragement, I feel like you could explain this even better than I could, but discouragement hits everybody. But discouragement is like the starter drug to everything else falling apart.
100%.
As soon as you let yourself get discouraged, your inputs slow down, the quality of your inputs stop, and you really just start to pull back the momentum you've had in your business. And so discouragement is like the tipping point where if you get discouraged, doesn't mean you can't come back from it, but it's a bad virus in your business.
And discouragement really does require action in order to be the antidote, right? Like to actually defeat discouragement, to be able to move past discouragement, you have to take certain actions, and there's certain things that we think maybe help, but they actually turn us into like a bigger rut and a bigger hole. And then there's things that actually really help move us forward. And we're really excited to chat about a couple of those things today. And again, share some stories about when it has not always been butterflies and rainbows and perfect and tons of wins and all of these things. And how do you stick through that? How do you outlast discouragement so that you can go back to a spot where you're actually stoked about your business and actually hit some really cool breakthroughs? Because every successful business owner we know, ourselves included, everyone that we know that does well in business has hit many points of discouragement where they've wanted to quit, but they didn't. And the reason that they didn't is because they did a few things that we're going to talk about in this podcast episode today.
Guys, we get this. So if you're new here, quick little introduction. So my name is Joey. This is Christy. And 2014, I started my first ever content agency called Spears Collective. And it was really fun. It was just a video agency back in the day. And eventually got into photo, eventually got into building out full-on marketing funnels and different paid advertising and organic advertising, social campaigns for businesses. So somewhat turned into a holistic, like we're trying to touch all of your digital strategy as a business, which is really awesome. Started building the business at a quite young age, and there's a lot of things that went really well. There's more that went really bad, and that's part of why we do this podcast. Is it has been a decade plus of really cool highs, things like $100,000 months, and lows, like shooting a commercial for the biggest car company in the world that you tap a little button on your phone, they pick you up anywhere in any city and take you somewhere. I was down in New Zealand shooting for an unnamed company. Lows to the point where like I shoot a whole commercial and don't get paid by them because of a contract issue. So like I've had lots of things all over the board, and this podcast just serves as a place where we can share those things like that. So if you're new here, Christy and I started Creativ Rise in 2019 with one goal in mind, to help creatives just like you, just like us, get paid to do what you love by focusing on the business side of growing a creative business, which is really cool. Your story.
Yeah. My story is I actually quit my business at one point because I was so discouraged. I actually did. But the full story is that I got started in the wedding industry, gave myself 6 months to start a destination wedding business. And if I didn't hit that goal, I was actually going to go to law school. And then after 6 months, had a full-time wedding business, incredible, shooting incredible couples all around the world. But it almost all didn't happen because of one comment from one person. And I actually quit my business for literally a full 12 months. And then I decided to actually go after it fully and let discouragement not stop me, and actually started my business. So I'll tell more about that later in the episode. But I in the wedding space, shooting weddings full time, traveling around the world, which is incredible. Got introduced into the commercial side of the commercial space and shooting, transitioned fully into that about 5 years ago now, I think. And then now I'm doing a blend of both, which is honestly the best thing ever. So that's us, and we're so glad you're here.
You just booked a wedding 2 days ago.
I just booked a
one
wedding
you're really excited about as well, which is going to be great. So that's a little bit about us, guys. So we're glad you're here. If you're new here, buckle up. We're going to share some fun stories and as much insight as we can over the next like 15-ish minutes on how we've navigated discouragement as business owners. But before we get into the discouragement stuff, I want to talk to you about some business owners that are not discouraged, that are having some great wins.
Heck yeah.
So we are in week 4. We just finished week 4 of week 6, or 4 out of 6 weeks in the 6-week Creativ Rise Mastermind. If you're completely new here, 6 years ago now, in 2019, in August, we started the first ever 6-week Creativ Rise Mastermind with the goal to break down the 6 pillars that we have used ourselves to build a 6-figure business foundation and go on to build 6-figure businesses as photographers, filmmakers, and social media managers. And we were like, what if we could help other people do the same? So August 2019, we put together a 6-week experience, tested it, and it worked. And we've been doing the same thing ever since, which is awesome. So there's 36 businesses in round 14 that we're currently running right now. We just wrapped up week 4, which is all about marketing, teaching you all about pitching, pricing guides, learning how to run social sales funnels, learning paid ads, learning referral network stuff, everything when it comes to marketing and growing your business. And there's been some awesome wins this week. So I'm going to rip through some of these. Shout out to Luelle. Luelle is a photographer and her husband's a filmmaker. They're an awesome duo. And they said, just catching up on some of these things. I got a bunch of recent wins. $3,300 for a video only wedding, $4,500 for a photo and video only wedding. She says both of these were at our old pricing with couples that had found us prior to the mastermind that had just booked. So our new pricing, we just booked one more at $4,650 just for video only, which is amazing. So that's like a 25% increase on pricing, which is awesome, Luelle. And then a $400 save the date film, which is super cool. Really cool. Save the date film. It's a good
awesome.
idea.
It's a great idea.
I love that. Luelle, very, very cool.
So
Marcus,
good.
shout out to Marcus. He is an outdoor adventure photographer from Australia. $3,225 for a one-off shoot. Raised my prices a little. Locked in a 2-day trail running product testing shoot with a regular client, which he's stoked about. Shout out to that, Marcus. Izzy and Daniel from San Diego. They run a video production agency. We just got a brand new 3-month retainer at $3,500 per month to handle all of their production for an in-house team that needs some more support, which is awesome. Shout out to Kate. Kate is awesome. She is also an outdoor photographer from Australia, and she had a couple wins here. One of them was $1,300 doing some reels for a guiding company. She's working with a guiding company, which is really cool. And her second win was $4,100. This is really cool. This is a very unique win. $4,100 for 2 months supporting a bike packing trip from Istanbul to Paris. Everything's also paid for. I created Instagram posts. I'm going to be creating Instagram posts every day / recap videos for the trip, which is going to be amazing. This is even better because it's in my off season where I often don't get as much work. I cannot wait to go on this trip. So Kate, shout out to you. That's amazing. Denisa, shout out to Denisa. She is from Quebec, Canada, and she just jumped back into Montreal. She was living up north. She literally quit her job 2 days before the mastermind. When she heard she got accepted, she's like, great, quit my job. And she's going all in. She literally started her business day one of the mastermind, started her business from scratch. Yeah. She just landed her first ever retainer. She goes, I'm officially ringing the bell as a social media manager. Just signed my first ever $500 per month retainer for 3 months to kick it off. She's already got plenty of content. I'll be mixing a 2-hour photo shoot every single month, plus doing some editing to that content and helping her post 3 posts a week. She's stoked on that, which is awesome. So Denisa, your first client, congratulations. Couple last ones here. Gary from Alberta, Calgary, Alberta, locked in a $3,700 video deal for a fly fishing shop, which he's stoked about. If you know Gary, you know that's all up his alley. Josiah awesome. From the northwest of the United States of America, PNW. Josiah just locked down a $4,000 deal to help somebody build, shoot, and launch an online course, which is super cool. Jesse, we'll end up with this one. Jesse, this is really cool. Jesse's from Vancouver, Canada. And Jesse just got a deal saying a $1,200 deal working with a tourism board in the area. And she's stoked because she's like, I'm not even going to be around for November. I'm out traveling. But I pitched a client of mine on just taking some of the footage I've shot from last year, re-editing it for them and giving them some new reels. So she's doing 3 reels for $1,200 for stuff she doesn't even have to go out and shoot. She's just gone back to clients and re-pitched them on an upsell, which is amazing. So Jesse, shout out to you. Love that, guys. There's so many wins. That's just to name a few. But let's talk about discouragement. So discouragement, as we said earlier, discouragement is the one thing that if you get discouraged, everything else starts to tip. In your business, and we see this all the time in our own lives. We see this in the mastermind too. Yeah. One of the normal things about the process of the mastermind is people get in, you get super stoked, you start pushing really hard, you start to see some wins. Some people start to see quick early wins. Some people's wins take a little bit longer to start to see. And what happens is some people start to feel a little bit discouraged. Yeah. And this doesn't shock us.
No, because this is actually by design. Every single business, because the reason people are getting discouraged, and maybe you're listening to this podcast and you were feeling encouraged, but you just listened to those wins, and all of a sudden you feel discouraged. And all of a sudden you're like, wait, I'm not where I want to be. And that's actually such a good thing, but it can be twisted to discouragement. So if you're feeling frustrated, stuck, sad about your business, discouraged. It actually just means there's a gap. There's a gap between where you want to be and where you are. And actually, thank goodness for discouragement.
Yes.
Because you are actually enlightened to go, there's actually someplace higher
There's more.
that I want to be. There's more.
Yeah.
There's more for my business. There's more for my revenue. There's more for my client relationships. There's more for how I actually feel like I can deliver value to my clients. And I'm not there yet,
Yeah.
right?
So this is how we explained it in the mastermind the other day to the few people that were like, man, I just feel like I'm working hard, but I'm just discouraged because I got a no or I got a rejection on this thing. And Christy and I said this and we broke this down. It was amazing to see the light bulbs go off in people's heads the same way that we've realized this in our own businesses. But discouragement is really just the distance between what you know is possible for you and where you're currently at, okay? And in that moment, when you look at that gap, you have a decision to make. Do I give up? Do I start to self-loathe and fall off a cliff in terms of my momentum in my business? Yeah. Do I decide to blame it on the economy? Do I decide to blame it on somebody else? Do I decide to feel shameful about, I'm not talented enough. I'm not this enough. I'm not as good as that person is down the road. Or do I look at that and say, thank goodness my perspective on what I know is possible for me as a business owner is growing. What is possible for Joey? What is possible for you? What is possible for Christy? I am now seeing is expanding. My view of self and view of success is expanding, and I'm not quite there yet. And that's an amazing thing. And then you have to decide to do something about it, which is really cool. So that gap right there is actually a good thing. Discouragement often is actually an indicator that you are seeing a version of the future that you are not yet you're not yet really the person who has achieved that, nor or maybe you're the person who will achieve that. You need to continue to work on something. So in a business sense, this is often what we talk to when people in our communities or people through the mastermind or just friends of ours, or what we tell to ourselves when we get discouraged. When someone's like, hey, I'm just discouraged, I say, well, let me guess. Your vision of where you could be in the next 6 months, 12 months has expanded recently. You've seen something, you've learned something, you've seen somebody else accomplish something, and that has expanded what you know is possible for yourself. But the systems you're operating off, maybe the mental beliefs you're operating off, maybe your view of self, or the actual responses you're getting from clients right now are still down here. But you know it could be up here.
Yeah.
Well, thank goodness, as Christy said, for that gap. That's a good thing that your view of self and view of success down the road has expanded, because I'll tell you this, people who don't grow their businesses are people that don't know what's possible.
Yeah.
They're so stuck and they don't understand that if they really do work hard, that what is possible for them can expand. So discouragement is actually an indicator that you are pushing in the right direction and that you are on the road to accomplishing something bigger and better than you have before. Yeah. Now, again, what we do with it's really important.
Yeah, and just a quick story, because there probably is so many people listening to this podcast right now, and you're like, I've been discouraged for so long. I'm literally on the brink of quitting. Like I picked this episode because I am so discouraged because I have not seen the tides turn in my favor, and now I'm just wondering if I'm not good enough or I shouldn't be doing this or whatever. I want to tell you a quick story. When I was getting into the commercial space, I was starting to work with Airbnbs and vacation rental companies and things like that, and I was so excited about the idea of like, okay, we've got this brand shoot we're doing in Hawaii. I want to pitch an Airbnb to be able to stay there for free. Like, this is just like, let's get this deal done. I'm so excited. I'm so confident, right? I'm so confident that my pitch is just going to land so well. So I end up pitching probably like 20 different Airbnbs on Instagram. I'm like sending these pitches to all these different people. I spend like an entire week doing it. I've sent a couple follow-ups for each one. I'm doing everything that I know I should be doing. Crickets. Like literally crickets from every single person, or it was just a blatant no or rejection or a ghosting or whatever. And I literally for an entire solid week.
You're violating our terms.
You're violating our terms. And literally I was pitching on Instagram. Don't pitch on Airbnb. But I talked to Joey. I literally remember where I was standing that summer, because I'm like, okay, we're leaving in like a couple weeks for this trip. We have nowhere to stay right now. None of this is working. And I was so dramatic. I'm like, apparently I'm just not cut out for doing this. I'm just like, this isn't working. I'm doing everything that I feel like I should be doing. Apparently I'm just not good enough. Let's just go book a hotel. Like literally that's where I was at. And it was very dramatic. And I was like, you know what? I'm never even going to pitch another Airbnb again. This doesn't work. And I remember Joey just being like, I don't remember your exact words, but it was something along the lines of like, don't quit. Like, what are you talking about?
I think I was saying, like,
going.
the next one you pitch could be
the
yes.
next one you could pitch could be a yes. Like, keep following
And
up.
all we
keep
need is
pushing
one,
through.
baby. We only need one.
It was great because he was not discouraged at the time, but I was deeply discouraged at the time because it felt like this personal hit of like, I feel like I'm doing the right things. I'm not getting the right results. And I was like, okay, fine. I'll send out one more follow-up. So I sent out one more follow-up. I think I had 5 follow-ups with this one Airbnb. The next day, you guys, got back to me and they're like, hey, thanks so much for following up. We've been super busy, but absolutely send us a proposal. I like quickly sent over a proposal literally within the next half an hour. We lock it in. It was the coolest experience and like the best Airbnb off the entire list, like the nicest one.
It was great.
Gave the green light, built this awesome partnership and content relationship. And that would have never happened if I would have given up and not sent that final follow-up. So a lot of you guys are actually sitting on doing the right things, but it just is one more. It's just 2 more. And I want to just hope this encourages you. This podcast episode is going to basically be the prescription. 3 things to do if you are in a spot of discouragement where you're on the brink of giving up, whether you're giving up your entire business or whether you're giving up on a certain type of client or a certain pricing. Whatever it is, these are going to be 3 prescriptions of what you can do to help get you out of the rut of discouragement and actually towards your goals, which is super cool.
Yeah, so I want to talk about the first one. The first point, the first thing you need to do if you want to get away from the despair and discouragement of running a business and you need to get yourself encouraged again so you can move forward is I want you to start focusing on getting no's. Start focusing on getting rejected, okay? Look forward to rejection. Count the rejections. Count the no's. So a lot of the time when we're first starting to pitch or we're first starting to, respond to inquiries as a wedding photographer and we're, oh yeah, here's my pricing for 2025 or 2026, or we're pitching a brand we really want to work with, we're so nervous they're going to say no. In fact, the no, the potential for a no often actually stops people from pitching in the first place.
Yeah.
We know lots of people that say, I know I should be pitching more, but I'm just not because I'm so afraid of getting a no. And our input and our encouragement to you is look forward to no's. And I want to tell you a story. So a friend of mine, Sam David Smith, a photographer I looked up to a ton, still do, especially in my earlier days. He's an awesome dude from New Zealand, and we've become friends. He's gotten to work with massive brands all over the world, like North Face, Ford, like blown up photos in airports, like the whole deal, billboards, amazing stuff, getting sent on expeditions and really, really cool spots for industry, like standard world-class brands. And when Sam and I became friends, after I'd seen all this stuff, I asked him one time, I said, bro, tell me about what it looked like to pitch some of these clients. And he kind of smiled and he was like, oh, bro. He was like, it's not the story most people think it was. Most people probably think that I just started pitching and I just started landing clients. And he went on to tell me about working with the North Face. And he said that when he pitched the North Face, it took him over 50 pitches until the North Face finally gave him yes. And there was even times when he was pitching and the North Face would write back to him eventually after ghosting him to say, hey, Sam, like, please stop emailing us. I really, really admire your consistency, but like, please stop emailing us. So what did Sam do? He looked forward to his next rejection. He looked forward to his next no, and he sent more pitches with better ideas. And he was refining his ideas. The more and more he pitched, he was sending better and better ideas. And eventually they wrote back to him after like a year plus of him pitching this company. And they finally said, you know what, we love this idea. We'll fully fund this expedition. We'd love to send you guys on this trip. And it was this really unique deal where he was getting sent to a part of New Zealand, to a part of the Alps in New Zealand that no one had ever really photographed in terms of an expedition. And he went with some North Face stuff and with some North Face people, and they shot this amazing expedition. So what I learned from that story is I was like, wow, Sam was not afraid of rejection. Sam was actually counting his rejections. He actually told me at one point, he was like, instead of me looking for my next yes, why don't I make a goal to get 20 no's? Because if I know I get 20 no's, it means I probably pitched 30, 40, 50, 100 people, and 20 of them got back to me and said no. Well, if I continue to go after no's, eventually I'm going to get closer to a yes, rather than being nervous and scared of the no's. So if you're in the wedding space, what I want to encourage you to do is look forward to the next no you get when you send out your pricing for 2026 and a bride says, it's too expensive, we're going with somebody else. Look forward to that, okay? Put yourself in positions where you're getting a lot of inquiries and you're putting yourself out there, right? And you are getting rejected. If you're in the brand space, pitch your butt off. Pitching is a part of the game. Now, The good thing about being in the brand space is eventually there will come a time where you've pitched enough, you built up a really good client list and a client base, and eventually you'll wake up and you're like, I haven't pitched in 4 months, but I'm really busy. And that's a beautiful thing. So the time is coming for you brand photographers. But in the meantime, pitch your butt off and start counting your no's. Don't just look forward to and look to count your yeses. This is super important. So shout out to Sam David Smith. Go follow him on Instagram. His work is incredible. We actually have a print of his at our house too.
Yeah,
beautiful.
Awesome.
Of some Alps with some horses. It's awesome. But he's the man. But I learned that from Sam, and I was like, dang, dude, I gotta start counting my no's rather than just focusing on yeses. I cannot be scared of rejection. I'm actually looking forward to rejection. So if you're discouraged in your business right now, if you feel like you need to really jump back on the horse and figure out how to run forward with encouragement so you can build your business, start looking and counting no's. Look forward to rejection. Don't be scared of it.
Yeah. And one of the things I want to add to that is one of my favorite quotes from one of our past mastermind grads
is awesome.
From Rebecca Soto. She's a destination wedding photographer. She literally this whole last few months has like been all around Italy shooting all these incredible weddings. And she when she got started, that was only maybe like 3 years ago. Like I think she literally got started around 3 or 4 years ago in the wedding space. And self-proclaimed, she'd be like, oh, when I started, I was like insecure. Like I was like, hey, I don't know how I'm gonna like pitch myself to these potential brides. Like I want to do destination stuff. All I'm getting is local work. Like I don't know how to like actually break into that. And then she just got so excited about rejection. And she just started pitching herself to all of these different engaged people on TikTok that were getting married in Italy.
Break that down, because a lot of people are like, if I'm in the wedding space, I can't pitch.
Yeah, like you just have to sit back and wait. And like you're too afraid to put yourself out there or anything like that. Rebecca was like, literally, she said this on our podcast when we were talking to her about destination weddings. She goes, rejection, it's afraid of me. She's like, rejection, it's afraid of me. Like I go out there and I don't care if I get a no. She wasn't always like that. But she shifted her perspective and going, okay, I'm in this gap. I'm here. I'm literally here in Northern California. I want to literally be in Italy. So there's a gap. There's a big gap, and the gap is going to require people hiring me in those places, and I got to figure out how to get there. And so for her, it went into just cold pitching these brides, going on TikTok, going on Instagram, searching hashtags. She's like, I probably pitch myself multiple times a week to random people I don't know.
That just got engaged. She finds people that just got engaged, and she's like, hey, I should shoot your wedding.
Exactly. She does that all the time. And she's like, yeah, of course I get no's. Of course. That's a part of the game, right? And so she's like, literally, rejection, it's afraid of me. And I'm like, that should be the new mantra. Whether you got to like write that on your wall, you got to put it over your computer screen, like you got to get it in your head that rejection is not the end. And looking forward to getting rejections means you're actually pushing forward, which is the whole point. You're already rejected if you don't ask, right? Mm-hmm. So get out there, don't quit, and actually move forward and get excited about rejections. So that is number one. Another thing to do while you're in the gap, the discouragement gap, is to actually audit your inputs.
Yeah.
Audit your inputs.
Number two.
Maybe a lot of times we're in discouragement and we're doing the right things. We just need some more time doing the right things. But sometimes we're doing not really the right things, or we're doing stuff that isn't as effective. And so it's not yielding really great results. Inputs always equal outputs. It's not like there's some magical thing that's drawing other clients to other people. It's literally about your inputs. It's what are you physically doing in your business and what is actually causing results. And I think sometimes you just got to ask yourself like, hey, what do I need to change if things aren't working? Like actually audit your systems. Humble yourself. Go, does my pitch actually just suck? Like, am I just not pitching enough? Do I not have a system? Am I spreading myself actually way too thin? I'm trying to work on, we have this conversation all the time in the mastermind because people are learning all of these different things. And so they're applying all these different things. But sometimes you have this shallow amount. You have a ton of effort, but it's spread across too many things. So it's this shallow efficacy. And so people are trying to build their website while they're also trying to build their socials, while they're trying to build their pinned posts and create a pitch deck and pitch 50 people a day. And they're not actually doing really incredible deep work that's going to be effective because they're spread across way too thin. So sometimes you either have to audit what you're doing for efficiency or for efficacy, or you have to go, hey, let me simplify. Let me get back to the basics. Okay, if I want to move the needle forward in my business, what does that actually look like for me? And how can I re-strategize? Maybe get some help. Maybe send your pitch over to some people that you know that are actually landing deals you want to be landing and go, can you just take a look at this? Like, am I doing something wrong? It could be like just a couple shifts, you guys, and you get so much more efficiency from your effort that you put in. So audit your inputs so that they can match the output that you want. That is literally one of the biggest things. And to make sure to just table the things that don't matter right now and go after the things that actually move the needle forward in your business.
Yeah, that's huge for discouragement. So number 3, if you want to get away from discouragement, continue to build your business, is you got to quit. But not what you're probably thinking you need to quit. You need to quit something. Don't quit, but quit something. So to illustrate this, we've got a friend who we actually learned this from. His name's Bob Goff. He writes books. He's awesome. You might have heard from him before. And he is one of the most eclectic people in the world. He's got so many things like this that we're just like, what? It's like, you really do that? And he's like, yeah, I really do it. So one of the things that Bob does that is just fascinating that we really have learned a lot from is he says, I think it's on Thursdays. Might be a different day, but I'm pretty sure it's like Thursday or something. He says, every Thursday I quit something. Every single Thursday of Bob's life, he quits something. It might be that meal he knows he shouldn't be eating because it's not good for his body or his health. It might be a relationship that he's withholding forgiveness from, and he needs to quit being frustrated towards somebody and needs to forgive them. He needs to quit that. It might be something in business that he needs to stop making a decision he knows is not helping him. He's got to quit it. It might be something else like, I got to quit wearing that pair of shoes because they're just worn out. I need to go get a new pair of shoes. Yeah. But every Thursday, he's got a rhythm in his life where he quits something. And really the lesson behind this is that success is not from always just doing the right thing. Success is actually brought onto people who actually get really good at quitting things so their focus becomes more narrowed in on what really matters. And this is a really beautiful lesson. So apply this to you. Here's how we are applying this to our own businesses. And specifically into the 6-week Creativ Rise Mastermind. Week 4, this past week, we had a group call on Thursday for about 2 hours, and we asked every single person to throw in the chat what their goal is. And we figured out these goals a couple weeks ago, but just redescribe and refine what their goal is before the end of the 6-week experience, okay? Everyone's like, I want to do this, I want to do that. They're all throwing their goals into the chat. And then we asked them the question, how clear do you feel like your plan is in order to achieve those goals? Probably about half the group was like, I have this really clear plan. Half of the group was probably like, I feel like this is my plan, but I might need help reworking a little bit. We threw them into breakout groups. Everyone helped each other workshop what people's actual like step-by-step plans are to accomplish their goals by the end of the 6-week mastermind. And then we brought them all back and we asked them this question, what do you need to quit? And this is the most important question out of all the questions. 100%. Because what the answers we saw come back were answers like this. I need to quit doubting myself. I need to quit believing that I'm not worthy enough to work with somebody and my work isn't good enough. I need to quit thinking that rejection gets the best of me, and every time I get a no, it stops me from pitching the next pitch.
I need to quit being on my phone during the workday and wasting all my time.
Wasting all my time scrolling Reels and TikToks. Oh, I don't have time to pitch. It's like, yeah, you did. Your screen time was 7 hours today. Like, quit that, right? Some people were like, I need to quit eating. Some guy literally said this, I need to quit eating heavy lunches because it makes me tired all afternoon and I don't get enough work done. Like, there's very real things that each and every single one of us, you guys and us included, could quit right now that are going to make us more effective and help us get closer to our goals. So step number 3 in sequence here of getting away from discouragement and getting closer to your goals as a self-employed creative. Number 1 is look forward to rejection. Number 2 is audit your inputs. Make sure you're actually working on the right things. And number 3 is quit the stuff that is not helping you. Quit all the fluff, trim the fat, get rid of the actions, get rid of the things you're working on, get rid of the ways you spend your time during your day that are not actually pushing you towards your goals, okay? Yeah. So if you can do those 3 things, I promise you, you will be in way better shape. You'll be way more encouraged about your business. And this is really the 3-step prescription to discouragement, which is awesome. So write it down because if you're discouraged right now, I can promise you, you're going to be discouraged again 6 months from now, maybe a year and a half from now, 2 years from now. It comes in cycles. And so understanding these 3 things, getting stoked for rejection, getting stoked for your next no, auditing your inputs to make sure you're actually working on the right things, and then making sure you're quitting stuff that is not helping you. Super, super important. Yeah. And bonus, maybe a last little one, get in community and give it time.
Yep, give it time.
Why is this so important?
This is so important because, again, maybe it's not you're doing the wrong things. It's that you haven't applied enough time for your results to really come through. Everyone thinks growth is linear. I start my business down here and it's like a step up and it's this straight line that goes straight all the way up for your inputs to your outputs, right? Like this is just going to be a linear growth period for me. Most growth for business owners looks like it's actually low amounts of return, but consistent action. And then all of a sudden it hockey sticks and goes super high exponentially, right? Or it also has maybe some ups and downs in the midst of that as well.
It's definitely going to have ups and downs.
Definitely gonna have ups and downs. But here's just the lie I don't want you to believe is that, oh, I did this once or I did this for a week. Oh, just must not work for me, right? Usually time, doing the right things, being consistent, not giving up, but doing the right amount of things, you will see a hockey stick like exponential growth in your business if you stick it out long enough. So I don't want you to quit. The story about me quitting my own business at the very beginning, one of the things that I needed to quit that I didn't was comparison. Like that genuinely was such a big thing for me. And it was a comparison not necessarily on like, oh, I'm not getting deals or I'm not getting opportunities. It was the dumb comparison of like, I don't feel like I'm good enough. Like, I don't feel like my work's good enough. Like, I don't feel like this. I was actually sitting down with a friend and I was like, gosh, I'm just so frustrated. Like, I don't feel like my work looks the same as this famous photographer on Instagram. And I remember her being like, well, maybe you shouldn't do it then. Like, if you don't feel good about your work, maybe you shouldn't be doing it anymore. And I literally was like, wow, that was the most discouraging conversation I've had all year. I literally quit my business for like a solid year. Like, I was like, okay, I was starting to get jobs, but I was kind of like feeling insecure. I ended up just letting the comparison totally trap me and make me stop doing my business for a solid 12 months. Then it was like I got a random opportunity and I was like, you know what? Let's just say yes. Let's do it. I hopped back into it. It wasn't like I figured everything out, but I just was like, I'm just going to get laser focused on if this is what I want to build, I'm just going to go, how do I continue to get better? How do I grow? How do I change things? How do I make this happen for myself? And if after 6 months it doesn't work, that's totally fine. Again, I'll go to law school. I'll be a lawyer, legally blonde. And I literally was like 6 months. I ended up building after the 6 months, having a full-time business and absolutely loving. Literally, it's the best job in the entire world. But I almost missed it because I let one conversation, one discouraging conversation, and the comparison trap me and keep me down and actually potentially block what could have been, something really awesome. So don't let that happen to you. If you're feeling the comparison trap of like, I'm not good enough or my work's not good enough, my edits aren't good enough, don't let that stop you, you guys. Most of the time your clients think you have the best work in the entire world.
100%.
Most of the time they think you're the coolest, that's the coolest photo they've ever seen. So don't let the comparison trap stop you. Use these three things in a moment of discouragement to help pull you out and help you keep going because it's so important.
The gap between where you are and where you know you could be, don't let that be filled with discouragement. It's not punishment. It's actually proof you are going after progress, okay? So let that encourage you, let that inspire you that your vision for yourself, for your business, for your future is bigger than it used to be. And that's amazing, okay? Do the work to make sure you continue progress and you'll have an awesome career. Guys, hope this is helpful. Discouragement hits us all. Hopefully you recognize that, whether it's some stories we've told about friends of ours, from mastermind people, or Christy's story, or my own story. It hits all of us, and it hits all of us more than you probably think it does, and it's so important. It's what you do with that discouragement, what you do with that gap, that is very important, which will tell the story of your career. So, hopefully this is great, guys.
And one of the best ways, you guys, to get re-encouraged is by be around encouraging people.
Oh, yes.
Be around
100%.
community. Get people in your corner who are not the naysayers of your life, but the people who are like, no, go for it. Do it. Chase after people who are doing what you're doing and they're already doing it really, really well, which is what we're so stoked because we're seeing that in our mastermind group right now. People, if they get discouraged, people are like, no, bro, you got this. Like, go send the pitch, like, do it. And people are getting incredible wins. So get alongside a community, get people in your life that will help pump you up. If you need us to pump you up, send us a DM on Creativ Rise. We would love to pump you up.
If you want to join the next mastermind, round 15 is coming in the spring of 2026. So only a couple months away now. So jump on the waitlist, creativrise.com. You can find all of that in the link in the description of this podcast. You'll get all the info about the mastermind. Creativrise.com literally has all the info. Everything we're going to teach you, all the 6 pillars are going to help you implement into your business. So many stories of people that have done it so you can find resonance with them. So creativrise.com. busywork.com. Go join the waitlist to get all the information and hear first when round 15 comes. That is the best way to really get your business in the best shape it's ever been in, and most importantly, to ditch discouragement, because we're going to put you in a community of encouraging people, which is awesome. So
that's awesome.
If this was helpful, though, send this to a friend, guys, and we'll catch you next week. Hopefully this has been awesome from us and the rest of the team. It makes us happen. Hope you're having a great week, and we'll catch you guys next week.